Welcome back to another episode of D Sports Gurus. I'm your host, Fresh. I'm here. I got my guest with me. I got my dog, Mayen. Man, you could tell them where to find you at, your social medias and all that, and then we can get started today. We're gonna be talking Pistons basketball, by the way.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mayen Shine, man. You can find me on Instagram at MAYEN_Sean. That's that. Let's get it.
All right, bet it up. So, like I said, we're gonna be talking Pistons basketball. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, however you listening to it, whatever platform it's on. You know, there's a couple platforms that we hitting. So however y'all listening to it, that'll be a help for us. So, like I said, we're gonna be talking Pistons basketball. Um, we got a lot of hoopla going on, we should say.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying, with the whole Zach Lavine trade and everything. I'm gonna let my
man.
dog kick it off and say what he was just telling me about the Zach Lavine trade. We exchange some of our thoughts and then we can talk some more Pistons basketball and go on from there. We actually had did a show. Me and Mayen had did a show like last week. Something happened to the footage. I don't know what happened. I think because I didn't try to download the tracks right after the show and I kind of left it on. I don't know, something happened that corrupted the file, so I couldn't even upload the content. So we just gonna kick it off again. So go ahead, tell us what you think and your thoughts and what's going on with the Zach Lavine situation.
Zach Lavine, man. And Zach Lavine, he was one of my favorite players, you know what I'm saying, coming into the league. I like Zach. I just like that whole Timberwolves squad, man. I think they had a lot of dogs with them if they would have just developed that, you know what I'm saying, instead of rushing the process. But they had Chris Dunn, Zach Lavine, Andrew Wiggins, Gorgie Dang, Karl Anthony Towns. Like they had some shit over there. But as far as him coming to Detroit, I didn't like that idea at all. Nah, if this was the Zach Lavine, Timberwolves Zach Lavine, then yeah, I would love that. If this was 2016, 2017, I love that. That's a steal. Let's get him. Whatever we got to throw at him to get him, let's get him. But today Zach Lavine, nah. I think that just the way he carry himself, he more so fixated on scoring more so than winning. You know what I'm saying? He became a volume scorer more so than a winner. And I just don't like that. I don't like how he changed. Just his whole demeanor and character different. You know what I'm saying? When he was with the Wolves, early on with the Bulls, he was anxious to win. You know what I'm saying? I seen the joy of playing basketball in him. But now I don't see that same joy when I watch him play. And I wouldn't want him to come on our roster and try to big dog. Because one thing I don't like, and I used to love Bradley Beal, but I watched him talk to some young guys one time, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. The shit he was saying wasn't no boss shit. Like, you don't tell no kids they can't guard you, blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, cut the negative shit, motivate them young dogs, impart the wisdom that you need, that you feel each one of them need if you're gonna be their teacher, and let that be that. And I feel like that's where Zach at in his career. I feel like that he did a lot of losing, and his approach to success may be pessimistic because he hasn't felt that as far as a deep run in the playoffs. And I wouldn't want that to rub off on a young dog like Asar. You know what I'm saying? Like Asar can really be that guy. And I wouldn't want no goofy shit that Zach would say that'd turn him into a Michael Kidd Gilchrist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want Zach to say nothing to him that'd demoralize him as a basketball star. You know what I'm saying? As a potential star in this league. I wouldn't want nothing Zach to say to demoralize him. I feel like Zach and Cade to be good, pretty good together, man, because both of them can be on ball, both of them can be off ball. But as far as him being on this franchise at this point in his career, I'm straight on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. We got Ivy. You know what I'm saying? Ivy might be a smidgen smaller, but they pretty much play the same role. You know what I'm saying? If folks don't know, Zach Lavine came into the league playing point guard because they point guard Ricky was injured. You know what I'm saying? So Zach came into just like Andrew came into the league playing it too. Ricky was injured, so Zach was playing point guard most of the season, and Ivy been playing the point guard. most of last season. Even though Killian was on the floor, Killian just wasn't effective. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the ball just stayed with. It's like D Wade. You know what I'm saying? Like on the Heat. Like who you would rather have handle the ball, Mario Chalmers or Norris Cole or D Wade? You know what I'm saying? Like who gonna make that wise decision coming up and down the court? No slight to either one of them two brothers, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just acknowledging the fact that D Wade handled the ball a lot, just like Zach handled the ball a lot, just like Ivy handled the ball a lot, even though they had point guards on they in that lineup. But
Got
yeah,
you.
man.
So I'm just gonna keep it short and give you my thoughts on the Zach Lavine trade. I don't even gotta go and be that intricate. You know what I'm saying? Go that deep into it. Like it's really simple. Like people trying to. I mean, you got a part of the Piston verse. I don't know. I think you was on to the live the other day that some of the guys did in the group, and they
Oh, you
was
talking about
just kind of
Kev
like,
and Brock?
yeah. So you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. And I got some thoughts from that live and what I think
yeah,
about. It's just overall like just a different point of view that different certain guys within the Piston verse have and a certain different perspectives on how we all viewing this, right?
yeah.
I'm just gonna keep it short about Zach Lavine though, right? He's a declining player, meaning like he's not in his prime, so he's declining. He's past his prime, he's declining. Um, I'm just gonna say that's what I'm gonna assume with with looking at the metrics and looking at the injuries. I'm going to assume that he's on a decline, right? He passed his prime. His contract, though,
Don't
is a
say that.
ascending contract. It's an
Yeah.
ascending contract. Like it goes up in years as it goes on. Like he at 40 right now. They go to 43. Like, you know what I mean? I don't got the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I know in the he got 2 years and then he got like a player option. I know in the player option year in his deal is close to 50 million. Like it's like 48.9 million or something like that. That's 50 million basically. That's a player option.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to take the player option. Like that's just not, you know what I mean? Like, why would
Mm-hmm.
I turn down 50 million? I don't care who you are. You're not finna opt out and try to go get more and you want to decline as I explained. So just putting those two things together is not even an option. Like you had some people in the fan base who felt like if we giving up expirings, then that's cool. It's still bad to me. Even if you get, it's no way that Chicago would have to do too much for me to want this deal. Like they would have to probably include Patrick Williams in the deal. They might have to include some first rounder. You know what I'm saying? Like they might have to take
Uh-huh.
Joe Harris contract. Like they would have to do so much for me to look at this Zach Lavine deal as a deal that the Pistons need or is a good move. I don't care if Cade is a better fit than Jaden next to. It's just too much that would have to be done to make that be a solid trade in my eyes, right? So it it's a part of the Piston verse right now, right? That I don't know if you see they reacting. And you know what I mean? In my opinion, like they throwing their temper tantrums, right? They
Mm-hmm.
crying and complaining about another part of the Piston verse that they saying that just don't want to get better. This the
Mm-hmm.
narrative, right? Because it's a lot of narratives going around within the fan base. The narrative is a lot of fans just don't want to get better. They don't
Oh
want to
yeah,
do
Ryan
anything.
said that.
They don't want
Yeah.
to. They don't want to take opportunities away from the young guys. It's some guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna name no names. They see. Hopefully, they see the show. You know what I mean? But that's their attitude about some of us not wanting the Zach Lavine option. Like, no, some of us just really into the business of basketball. Like, I'm into the business of basketball. Like when I have some of these conversations, I'm a lot of times talking from a GM perspective. And I
Yeah.
say that, like a limited GM perspective. What I mean by that is, right, I can't talk about all the facets of being a GM because I don't have the power to even do that as far as like trades. Like You got
Mm-hmm.
guys playing with the trade machine and all type of stuff. I don't even get into that because I don't hold the powers to even do a trade, to even propose a trade, to even say what's valuable to me. I don't hold the power to have those conversations with different teams about certain players and how I view certain players. I don't. So I don't even get into all that, right? So for those who just feel like some just don't want to get better, that's false. We do want to get better. We just not willing to do any and everything and make desperate moves to get better. Like we not in a position in this rebuild, regardless of what some people want to say, like they want to throw up the Trey been here for 4 years and all that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of how long y'all feel or y'all wish we would be far along on this rebuild, we not at the point to where we need to make desperate moves.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't care.
facts.
I don't care if that upsets y'all. I don't care if that views y'all make y'all view the GM as not a good GM or whatever the case may be. But we just not at that point, regardless. Like that's my thoughts
Mm-hmm.
about it. So Zach Lavine trade was completely off the deal. And the other reason is we need a fucking forward. We don't need another guard. Like that's not what we get Zach Lavine and then do what? Be what mediocre? Like
Yeah.
not to and I'm gonna let you get in, right? But I just want to say something, right? And I want to hear your thoughts on what you think about it. And this is my thoughts, right? Somebody bring up the Rockets and the Rockets moves and the Rockets progression and what they doing. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, why do people fantasize so much to be in the position that the Rockets are in right now, right? They let me pull it up so I can make sure I'm not saying anything false. I just want to get they last
You
10
some up
games.
Okay, okay, okay.
They last 10 games because I just want to put some stuff in perspective real quick. Uh NBA standings. All right, Western Conference. Okay, so they 4-6 in they last 10. All right. So that's something. All right. So they currently in 11th place in the Western Conference, 23-25, below 500. Um, Fighting to get into the play-in. Is that where you want to be as a fan of the team? Is that where you want to be?
All right, I'll say this too, on to that Rockets point. It's not just the Rockets neither. It's Orlando, it's the Rockets, not
I
really
know,
the
but
Pacers,
I'm talking specifically the
the
Rockets, and the
Rockets.
reason why I'm
Yeah,
talking about the Rockets is because the Rockets is the team last season that went into the offseason with all this cap space, and they
yeah.
signed Fred VanVleet, they signed Dylan Brooks, they signed these
Mm-hmm.
vets that everybody keeps saying complaining about that we need around here, like certain guys. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying we don't need vets, but I'm just talking about like a certain part of the fan base, and I call them the OGs. Like if I'm
Yeah,
just being real, because all these guys is old guys for some reason,
yeah.
and old guys tend to think alike on the way they think about building stuff out and talking basketball conversations. They all tend to think alike, and they like we need vets, we need vets. And I'm not saying that we don't need vets. What I'm saying is we need the vets in the right position, in the right roles, not just to get a vet just to say we got a vet and we paying them
Mm-hmm.
this amount of money or this. It got to make sense. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So what we saying, like, my question was before you answer was,
yeah.
do you want to be? So let's say we go into this offseason with this 50 million or whatever, however
Mm-hmm.
much money we got. We signed two players. We ain't even gonna say what they is, whatever. We just spend
Mm-hmm.
on two players, right? Because that's what they did. We spent on three players, right? They signed Jock Londale with some shit, already traded him or something. But anyways, we spent on three guys, and next year we fighting to be a play-in team, like outside the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
You would be happy with that as a fan.
No, no, sir. Nah, this year I would have been happy to be a playing team. You know what I'm saying? And when I say happy, I mean in the sense of progression. It's just showing that our young guys developing. Um,
I,
but when
I hear that. I hear that, but you kind of moving the conversation to where
go ahead,
we
go
I
ahead. So
want to
you said would
focus
I be
in on
happy to be a
I want
playing
to
team?
focus in
No.
on I want to focus in on that they spent this cap money. You feel me? Like
Yeah,
you can't go back and say, well, this year because we didn't spend the cap really. I'm talking about like looking
yeah.
into the future. Like I get
Mm-hmm.
this season, and see that's the problem right now that a lot of fans can't get out their head when they thinking about the moves we should make and all that stuff, right? They thinking about this season and what they wanted this season to be. They can't look at this season and say, in a microcosm and say, we know why this season was what it was, right? It didn't matter because at the end of the day, where did we think we should have been at the end of the season? It wouldn't be like somewhere crazy above where we actually are. Like when I say actually are, I mean as a progression and building towards the future, not the record. The record is gonna get people sidetracked on where they need to focus on. Even like right now, the record is the reason why fans won't shut up every day talking about Troy Weaver. Like it's a deadline going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like only so many things can be done at so many points and periods in time. You get what I'm saying? It's like you got the off season up into the trade deadline that you can do stuff as a GM. Outside of that, you can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people just want something done without wanting the right thing done. Like I'm not the person that's
Mm-hmm.
just like, I want something done. Like, no, I don't just want you to do something. That's bad GMing. And I feel like that's where a lot of people at to where they want bad GM moves to be made just
Yeah,
because
they
they
want an
want
impulsive
move.
move to work.
And
Yeah,
that's
they want an
retarded.
impulsive move to work.
That's retarded. So just to
Yeah.
take it back to the Rockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we spent this money going into this offseason, like you said you wouldn't be happy, right?
No, 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 no. To be a play-in team next season. That was the
If
continuation of your question. If we spent
if we
this
spent
money,
this, if we spent all this money,
yeah.
we signed two guys, no matter who they is, we don't care about their names, 2 to 3 guys, it don't matter who they is. And next
Mm,
year we're competing to be a play-in team, not a solid lock for a play-in team, but competing to be a play-in team. You would be happy with that as a fan.
no, no. That ain't never the goal. The goal is to win. You know what I'm saying? Like I will be happy with progressions, but I'm not happy with aiming to be a play-in team next season. This season that we come into, I wouldn't be happy with that. I'd be happy with a 6 seed, uh, a 7th seed, a 5th seed. That's what I'd be happy with.
Okay, got you. And my thoughts and my response to that is I kind of share similar thoughts, right? If we go into the offseason, we spend all this money. I mean, we should be spending all this money, right? Like that's the thing. We should spend all the money and blah blah blah, right? I see us being like a play-in team, not not like outside competing to be a play-in team, but a play-in team. And then the following year, I can see us taking a bigger, more solidified jump. And just because I think it takes time to like build real chemistry on the court. Like it take real time to build real chemistry, even if you put guys in that's the right guys and shit like that. It take them some time to learn how to play with each other. It's almost like the Timberwolves last year. Like they had Rudy last year, right? But
Hmm.
it didn't really go into effect until you come into this year where they know how they want to play. You feel what I'm saying? They don't have a chance to evaluate where they make the mistakes at and stuff like that, right? And where they can start to play better. And then you see this year, they take the jump to where they a number one team. They went from bottom play-in team to number one team. And I feel like you can make drastic jumps like that when you got players that's developing and the parts of their career that we got players developing in.
I think with the Timberwolves, it's slightly different because they had a issue with establishing who the alpha was, and then they had a bench issue too. And Nas Reed helped solve that bench issue, and he became very versatile. It was really the versatility of the bench. You know what I'm saying? Because Carl always he was supposed to be a four. He was never supposed to
We
be a five.
I
But
I don't wanna cut you off, but I do want to cut you off because I don't want you to get into explaining all of that because we gotta focus on Piston basketball, right? Whatever they did to solve their shit, they solved their shit, right?
they
I
did.
just want you know what I'm saying? Cause I don't,
Yeah.
I just want to try to keep us focused on Pistons basketball, right? We don't
Hmm.
we don't gotta try to, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm just saying that's the type of way that I see that you can make progressions. Even like OKC. OKC, did they make the play in last year?
Did they? I think
I
so.
don't know. I'm asking.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think they made the
Let me
play in. They got eliminated. I think they got eliminated by the Timberwolves.
let me see.
I forgot who they got
Um,
eliminated by.
let me see. I'm gonna look it up real quick. No, they get eliminated by the Timberwolves? Um,
Who did they play?
2003. I'm looking it up right now. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so they finished 10th, so they made the play in. Got you. So I just wanted to know where they finished. They finished 10th. They went from a 10th place team. Same thing with the Timberwolves. They was a bottom 10th, ninth, 10th. You feel me? Both of these teams, 10th, ninth, and they made a leap from the bottom of the play-in all the way up to the top of the conference. Both teams, right?
Yeah.
And what happened was development of their players. You got Jalen Williams. Of course, they got Chet back, right? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But that's the progression that it takes, or I feel like that's the way it's gonna go, right? So next year, I fully believe for us to be a play-in team. Then the following year is when we can actually be a team that can be competitive as far as like one of the top 5 teams in the conference. All right. So that's the
Hmm.
trajectory I see. A lot of people don't have that type of patience and they want to make a move like getting a Lavine. Now, what I say what a Lavine would do and making a move like that, it will put you in a position where you would be an 8 to 10 team consecutively, like not moving up, not you feel me, not going
Hmm.
up until the point to where you just go down. And prime examples of those type of teams is Toronto, Chicago. You know what I mean? Those teams that just you know that for years they just been the bottom of the East, bottom of the East, bottom of the East. And you see both of those teams had to blow everything up that they did, right? Toronto done blew everything up with Siakam. Even though Toronto did get a championship, so we gotta at least say they won a championship, and then they started trying to tread water and stuff like that. Yeah, I gotta give them some credit there. But then you got Chicago, who went the route that I feel like a lot of Piston fans want us to go into. Like, think about it.
Hmm.
Chicago had all of these young players. They had Patrick Williams. They had Ayo. They had Kobe White. They had even marketing. They traded marketing, right? They did what these guys want us to do now. Trade it for you know what I mean? For Vujovic. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like they traded and tried to go chase the vets, right? Which I call chasing the cheese. They tried to go chase the cheese. They went and got Lavine. They went and got DeRozan. They went and got Vujovic. And they felt like we had sacrificed our young players, opportunities, the Patrick Williams, the Kobe Whites, you know what I mean? We had trade off Laurie marketing. We'd do all that and try to build a team that in essence they did what they was trying to do. Remember, Chicago had a good year before Lonzo got hurt. Remember, they was they was having a great season. They was looking like, damn, they might be a contender. And then Lonzo get hurt. And ever since Lonzo been hurt, they done just fractured as a whole. You know what I mean? And that whole process to try to be competitive turned into mediocrity, a constant state of mediocrity. You know what I mean? Trying to be mediocrity, at least I would say. So that's my thoughts about why I'm so against chasing the cheese. That's what I call it. Chasing the cheese and trying to chase a vet that don't really solve the answers that you really, you know what I'm saying, really solve the problems that you're trying to solve.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm cool on that. I never liked that idea, no way. It depended on who the vet was, but I like building from the ground up because it's more organic that way. I always like organic franchises anyway. Even though that old 14, most of them we traded for, you know what I'm saying? But still, I always like a organic approach to things. Like I like
I
Golden
think
State a lot back in the day.
that 014 got the fan base in a chokehold. Like they got the 014 got the fan base in such a big chokehold that they think that they think we can recreate that defense. They think we can recreate everything. I'm talking about the 04 team got the fan base such in the chokehold. They think anything these dudes say is like law to basketball. Like anything they catch a clip of them guys saying any single thing is oh my god, we need shit. We need oh my god. Like bruh, y'all gotta let the 04 Piston team go. They did something great. You feel me?
Yeah, for a long time.
They took down the Lakers. They had a team chemistry. They was a group of misfits, if that's what you want to call them. But we all know that that was a rare situation, right? That was rare. That was something rare. We gotta let this chokehold that rarity got us in go as a fan base. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta let that go.
Yeah,
I
I'll
don't
say
know.
it'd be rare if it was just one season of success. They were consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like they went to six straight conference finals. It'd be rare if we just won that one chip and then we just started to tread water. They was
But even
consistent for a long
but
time.
even that, bro. Like to me, I I don't like I don't like just being competitive, right?
Yeah,
Like
the name of the
like
game is to
even
win.
even exactly. Even like right now, I feel like people just want to get back to being competitive. They would settle for going to 8 Eastern Conference Finals and losing all of them, right? And
Yeah,
that's not me, bro. Like I'm not that guy. Like I'm not that guy that's like, shit, bro. I'd rather be competitive. I'd rather win two and then fall off than to be competitive for 8 consecutive finals. That's why I like when people have those LeBron versus such and such debates and they be like, oh, he went to 10 straight Eastern Conference Finals. So what? That's not impressive to me. Like, did you win all 10 of them? If you
yeah.
didn't win all 10 of them, then you was a bunch of number twos a bunch of times. That's not impressive to me. I like the number one guys. Like, I don't know. That's just me personally. Some people feel like just being competitive and competing is a good thing.
No,
And,
that
and,
ain't never
and
enough. And that's something that the old heads need to get into their mind. Because a lot of guys be wanting to debate. That's why I don't know, bro. That's why I be making sure like I always add context to the conversation. Because I was when Kevin and was talking, I wanted to say that 30% of what they were saying, it lacked context. You know what I'm saying? To what's going on at hand. It's easy to say like we can get Zach, but then what do we do for the next 4 years? Like what is his track record show?
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I was saying that I like developing the foundation the right way from the ground up and then adding
We
missing pieces once we
we'll be
already
4 years.
established what we got.
We'll be 4 years down the line talking about, man, we wish we had a young guy who was that's what they'd be doing, bro. I know because we've been there. Like when we had Reggie
Hmm.
Jackson, Andre Drummond, and Blake Griffin, or even before we had Blake Griffin, we had uh Tobias Harris and Marcus Morris and those guys. Like was that an
And they wanted
exciting
to trade
team
for
that
us
people
last season. In the
come
summertime,
on,
they wanted
man,
to
like
trade for us.
make it make sense, man. Like make all this stuff make sense, bro. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
then you got even some part of the fan base that's like, y'all didn't want to get Brunson, y'all ain't want to. I was the part of the fan base that was saying we had no chance of getting Brunson. So to even be putting your mind around, like to be
Mm-hmm.
doing the homework on trying to do that, like that's where I'm at, bro. I'm the fast forward guy. That's like, don't waste your time. Like even when
Mm-hmm.
people talking about Siakam and OG and Zach Lavine, it's not that I don't think those guys are good players. DeJounte Murray, it's not that I don't think those guys are good players. I'm the fast forward guy. That's where I'm like, okay, but they not gonna move the needle. You know what I mean? They not gonna
Mm-hmm.
we gonna be right back in a position. Do they even it be like, do y'all even pay attention to the situations that they be leaving or trying to leave?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like we not even in a better situation than they leaving. So how them coming here is gonna make us be better than what the situation was or the results was for the situation they was in. Like make it make sense. The
Mm-hmm.
Toronto, for example, uh Siakam playing with Scotty Barnes. He playing with Gary Trent Jr., a player who everybody keep throwing his name around. We need to get. Okay, well, he already got him. He was playing with Fred VanVleet, who was just an all-star. That's the
Mm-hmm.
guy
Dennis Smith Schroeder.
who y'all just praised the Rockets about getting. You know what I'm saying? They had Podol. They had guys. They had a bench of guys. Boucher. They still was able to do nothing with that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, do people draw the connections of what the results gonna be? Right? We can bring
Mm-hmm.
in a name, but what's the results gonna be, man? Like,
Yeah.
if it's not something where it's like a Indiana and Sacramento where they made the trade for Halliburton for
And it's
Sabonis.
extremely impactful for both franchises.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
automatically this franchise about to benefit this franchise. If it's not that type of trade, bro, then what are you talking to me about? Stop talking to me about trades and trading and giving away all the few assets that we have, right? Now we could talk about
Yeah.
that. That's a different story on why we got those assets. And I agree with anybody that want to go at Troy and say, well, he the reason why we don't got the assets in the first place. I can agree with that. And
What you
that's
mean? But
a
hold on, hold
whole
on, hold
different.
on. Go back. What you mean by that? What assets were
Well,
you
well,
referring to?
well, well, the Stu trade. I mean, the lack of assets. I mean, the draft capital.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
don't have the draft capital that other teams have to compete in the type of trades. We don't have that
And
because
we never
uh,
had that.
Troy, Troy, Troy traded the first round pick to get Stu, and that's the pick that has us locked in a protection to where we can't trade future first rounders
No, you talking
outside of
about Duran, not
2000.
Stu. You talking about Duran.
No, no, it was Stewart, not Dern. It was Stewart. Stewart was the trade. Is the trade that's I believe it's Stewart
It's
because
Duran,
they
bro.
traded.
You talking about the New York pick.
No, the
That's
OKC
Jalen
pick.
Duran.
The OKC
OKC
pick.
pick.
The OKC pick is the pick that got us locked up. That's the pick that New York got. That's the pick that I believe we traded to get Stewart, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Either
do
way,
your research on that. That's the Duran pick. We traded a pick for
I
JD.
no. I think it's the Stewart pick. You might need to do your research on it. We can both do our research on it, right?
Yeah,
We
pull it
could
up real
go
quick.
ahead.
That's the Duran. I can't do it because I got my phone positioned so it won't mess up. That's the Jalen
All
Duran
right,
pick.
man. I'm
We
about to
traded
look
a
it up,
we
man. It's
yeah,
the
we
pick
traded
that
a
New York got, man. It's the pick that New York has.
yeah, I always thought we traded a second for Stu.
Nah, we traded a first rounder to get Stu. We traded a future first rounder to get Isaiah Stewart. We traded. It was a pick to Portland. We traded. Let me see. How do we get him? Uh, because Portland made the pick. Let's see what
We got
happened.
the yeah, because we got our Portland pick from the Jeremy Grant trade.
I'm about to tell you.
And
No, I'm about to tell you. It's still it's Stewart. Let me see. I don't know, man. I can't pull it up right here, and I'll be all day trying to pull it up while we on the live too. So we'll just figure out the information afterwards. It don't really matter whether it was a Stewart or Dern. It don't really matter. The whole point is, I believe it was a Stewart pick. All right, because I've heard a lot of people reference it several times, and I think I've also looked it up because I wouldn't be so upset about the trade if it was for Dern as it was for Stewart. Like I remember that vividly. That's why I'm upset is because it was a trade for Stewart that took us from not having that pick. But we can figure it out though, because I believe the Dern trade, how we got that pick was through trading Jeremy Grant. That was Portland's pick.
We did more than one trade with New York for that.
I
We
know, but
did two trades with New York.
what I'm saying is the Portland pick is the
The pick
Jeremy
we got for
Grant.
trading Jeremy Grant, we
That's
utilized,
Dern.
yeah, for New
Exactly.
York.
But I'm saying
But we
that this was already prior to that though. This don't got nothing to do with that. If I'm not mistaken. Now we can figure it out afterwards. But let's just keep moving on. Um the whole point is the reason why we don't have the draft picks is because Troy traded them to get someone, and those picks got a protection on it. And because of that, we can't trade future first rounders up until I think it's like 2029. We can't trade none of the ones. So you
yeah.
got your 2024 and then all of the ones 25, 26, 27, 28, all those are locked up and you can only trade 29. So that changes the value of a pick that's 4 or 5 years outside of where you at, right? So it's kind of like a lot of teams won't want to deal with that type of first rounder because, you know, who knows what it would be by the time you get it.
hmm But
So
yeah, man.
go ahead.
No, I was just finna say, man, I'm looking forward to the moves that we make in this off season. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of stuff that we can do. You know what I'm saying? Going into free agency, whether we want to package people up, you know what I'm saying? Like whether we want
Package
to
you up.
re-sign guys. Like I said, I
Package
wouldn't
you
mind
up.
trading Stu. I wouldn't mind trading Stu. I wouldn't mind trading Bogdan. If truth be told, if we could
Well,
make a move right now, I'd trade Alec Burks.
well, going into the off season, going into the new year, currently it's only like 7 Pistons that's on a roster. That's K, Ivy, Durn, Stu, Sasser, and Bogey got a partially guaranteed contract. He don't got like a fully guaranteed contract on the roster. It's only for like 2 million. So it's like we don't really even have no guys on the roster to even be talking about trades. Like we don't even have no guys to trade like in the offseason. When we do talk about trades, we would have to like sign guys and then trade. Like we don't really have no guys.
And when I say
So
that, I always say Stu too, given that
so
he's
that's
seen
why
as an asset to a lot of teams out here.
I figured that's why I would have saw. I mean, of course, we had all these talks about Lavine, but that's why I figured I would have saw maybe Alec Burks and Monte Morris and somebody else being moved during the deadline. But I think that it's probably won't be no moves made during the deadline. I mean, that's just my opinion. If it is a move, I don't think it's gonna be a big move. Uh as far as like them moving Stu, I'm gonna tell you, like, man, I was a anti-Stewart guy. Like I literally joined the Piston groups to have someone to talk about how much I dislike Stewart with after going to see all of these games. Like, man, I'm just tired of seeing this guy. I gotta go talk to somebody about this guy. And after 2 years of just like, you know what I'm saying, I've actually grown to the point to where I can accept Stewart being on the team. I feel like it's a role for him. I feel like he got an impact, regardless of whether I don't like the way it looked. See, I feel like people get caught up into that. They get caught up in what they want it to look like versus if it's yielding the results that it should yield. I'm not saying he's a player we need to run offense through. I'm not saying he's a player we need to. I don't even think he's worth the contract we gave him. But I think he is a player that we need to keep right now. And if they did trade him, I wouldn't mind it. But I can see him being the best backup, one of the best backup fives in the league if we just let him be a backup five. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I feel like he
Yeah,
could be.
yeah, he could play the 4 or the 5. I think that he'd be cool as a backup, like you said. That's what we all been pretty much talking about is his position going forward because as a starter, it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said last time we was on here, the the game moves smoother and more fluid and with more intelligence when he not on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like seeing professional athletes who've been in this field for more than half their life bumping into each other, just not knowing how to cover their guy or not knowing how to rotate. Like you've been playing this game too long to be confused and bumping into your shooting guard on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to see that. The game moves smoother with him not on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like not with no long minutes, bro. Like the same with Killian. I said before, you can't have two low IQ players on the court at the same time and expect there to be, you know what I'm saying, continuity. Like you can't be
You can't
frustrated
say
with the
Killian a
result.
low IQ player. You can't
You
say
said what?
that. You can't say
Killian a
he a
low
low
IQ
IQ.
player, bro.
Bro,
It ain't about the passes
that's
that he able to make. It ain't about the passes that he
listen,
able to make. It's about him being a point guard. When I say
bruh.
low
You be
IQ, when I listen, let me finish
I
because I
fucks
let you
with you.
speak and
Go
I ain't
ahead.
interrupt you, bro. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
When you talk about low IQ, the point guard is supposed to know everybody's position on the court. That's his responsibility because it's his job to feed everybody. It ain't his job to get every basket or to aim for scoring every possession. It's his job to set up his people. Killian can make a pass. Killian can make decent reads, but as far as him really being fully functional on the court, that's just not there. You know what I'm saying?
What
He
does
in
that
year
have to do
4,
with basketball IQ though, man? Just because
that has everything
he
to do
don't,
with the
he
IQ.
not, he not great at basketball. That don't got nothing to do with basketball IQ. Stu
That's an
is different.
oxymoron.
No, listen,
How 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 is he not
I
great at basketball and that
listen.
don't have nothing to do
He's
with
not,
basketball IQ?
basketball
That's an
IQ is
oxymoron.
all right. So listen, we just gonna agree to disagree about that. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna agree to disagree about that. Like I don't even, I can't even your logic of what you call or define as basketball IQ and what I define as basketball IQ is not the same. Like
What's basketball
that's not
IQ
the
then?
same.
What is your definition of basketball IQ? Because this not my definition. Basketball IQ is knowing the game of basketball and knowing your position. As a point guard, you supposed to know
What,
every play in the playbook. You supposed to know opposing
dude,
teams' plays without
dude?
knowing the names. Just knowing, okay, they finna do a flare.
How do you? I can't even really give you a rebuttal because it just sounds so ridiculous to me.
What sound
Like
ridiculous? Go ahead.
it do
Expound
sound
on what
ridiculous
sound
to me.
ridiculous, bro, because that don't
I,
sound ridiculous. You supposed to know
it
every
don't.
play in the playbook as the point guard.
I don't.
So
I
how
don't
that
want to
sound
get
ridiculous?
sidetracked. I don't want to get sidetracked into talking about something that don't even really matter, right? I'm just gonna say that I disagree with you
No,
with your
bro, I don't
opinion
want to
of
disagree to disagree. How does that
no,
sound
we
ridiculous?
not
If the point
we not
guard is supposed to
we
know
not
every
dis
play, how is
we not
that?
dis we not disagreeing to disagree. Like you can have your points on why you feel that way. All I'm saying is I don't want to go into the conversation because it's not really focused on the topic, bro. Like that's not what we focused on. We not focused on going into dissecting Killian's basketball IQ or Stewart's basketball IQ. You feel like he got low
That's
IQ?
that's that's where we talking
I
about their
feel
value though. That's where
listen,
they value come into play. If you don't have a high basketball IQ and it's your position to have a high basketball IQ, then
That's
I don't
your
want you
that's
on my
your
team.
listen. If that's your perspective on it, I can't. I fine. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Gotta argue that. All I'm saying is I just don't agree with you that you feel like he got low basketball IQ. I just don't.
And what IQ? What's high basketball IQ? What does he do that say,
We
okay, he got a great IQ? Because he's a point
we
guard and don't nobody want him on the team.
That's because he can't score. It has nothing to do with his basketball IQ. He can't score the ball. He's not aggressive at scoring the ball.
Was
That's
Mike
why it's
Miller
his
a great?
abilities.
Was Andre
Listen,
Miller a great basketball scorer?
abilities, abilities, and having knowing what to do is something totally different. Abilities. He don't have the abilities. He's not willing to do what has to be done. He know what need to be done out there. That listen, I know. I can look at him and tell he knows what he need to be doing out there. He just doesn't have the ability. He doesn't have the will, the mindset to go do it. He knows what he need to be doing out there. He the reason why he's actually started most of the games is because he has high basketball IQ. That's the only reason why he done started over a player like Jaden Ivey. That's the only reason, in my opinion, right?
No, no,
You
he
don't
was
you
starting over
don't have
Jaden because of defense.
you don't have to agree with me, right, bro? You don't have to agree with me. That's not what we here to kind of like talk about. That's why I said we don't gotta go too in depth on how we feel about certain players' IQ because that ain't really the conversation, right?
That ain't the
But
conversation you want, but that's the conversation we have.
no. That's not the conversation we here to talk about. Like overall, even if we talking about Piston basketball, bro, that player is not even a part of our future. Why do you even care to go into that in depth about that player?
Bro, if we gonna package him, we need to assess what value does he add to any other team
You
in order
gonna
to assess
package
what
him?
type of package that we can get for him.
If you can package him, bro, good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck. If you can package him, good luck.
yeah, man.
That's my thoughts on packaging him. I'm not even he's a filler player on any deal that's probably gonna get made. No team is looking to get him off of no value. That's why when you keep talking about his value, he don't really have value in the league. He don't. He's gonna be a free agent. And then a team might look at him as being valuable because damn what they giving up for him. They not giving up no assets for him. They could probably sign him to like a $5 million deal or whatever the league minimum type of deal is for a player like that. They can get him at a discount rate. But as far as like trade value, come on, man.
Yeah.
Skillion.
He definitely could command a second round pick.
Bro, I wouldn't give you a second round pick for him. Like, I
It
wouldn't.
depends on what franchise you is.
Why would I give you a second round pick for a guy that I know is on an expiring deal that you're not about to resign? Why would I give you a second
Yeah.
round pick for? Like, what are we trying to do here? Like, let's be real, man. Like, and I feel like that's the conversations we be having amongst the fan base that people don't want to be real about where we at and what we are and what we gonna do and we just feel like we could just give people our shit and they gonna take it. Even if you feel like Stu is a trash player, right? Because I kind of get that kind of feeling from you, right?
Say that one more time. Say that one more
Even if
time.
you feel like Stu is a trash player,
You said, do I think Stu a trash player?
yeah.
No. No. That ain't what I'm saying. And that's what I don't want to get misinterpreted. I'm not saying he a trash player because he don't have a high offensive IQ or awareness. I'm saying or hands. I'm saying that he need to be repurposed. He need to be repurposed, and he need to keep working on his skill set. That's all I'm saying. But like I said, I would prefer for him to come off the bench because that's where I feel
Damn,
like
you
he can
popped out. Gotta wait for you
maximize
to wait for you to
his
pop back in.
his intangibles and his
All right, we at
tangibles
the like
without it
49-minute
interfering
mark. I'm gonna wait
with
for
the
my
flow of
dog
the
Mayen to
offense.
pop back in.
Because
We're gonna
it's
try to go
points
for
in the
like 10
game,
more
just like
minutes talking
almost
some
every
Pistons
game we had this
basketball.
season, when you
Um,
had the starters in, when you take the
I'm
starters
gonna
out,
ask my guy what he want
it's
to talk
it's
about and
night and
discuss in
day.
these
You know what
last
I'm
10
saying?
minutes
Like
so we
we
can
go
kind of
from
just
a
go through it
10
and
point
talk
lead,
some
7 point
Piston
lead to
basketball.
we down by 4 and Monty still ain't
We
rotate the
mainly just
starters
been
back
kind
in.
of
You know what I'm saying? Like
going through the
Stu, the type of
future
player
and
who would allow the
whether we
league to
felt like
dwindle.
they should
I
have
seen
made
that versus
certain
the Wizard
trades
game.
or not.
That's why I was not the Wizard game that just
Mainly
passed, but
centered
the
around
one
Zach
like I
Lavine
think a couple weeks ago.
and
But I was
whatnot.
like, if we just let Stu stay out, you got to understand the offense. You
And
got to
give him
understand
like
the
another
game.
minute
Like it's about game
to
time
pop back
management.
in
Like
if he
understand
end up
what's working and what
popping
ain't
back
working.
in.
If
If
I
not,
know
I'll
having
just
him
finish
in
off the
at this point in
conversation
time
and
is not
give y'all some of
effective,
my thoughts
I'm
on
not finna let him come back
what
in.
I think
I'm
about
just finna go
everything
ahead and play a
going
nigga 10
forward, right?
minutes. I'm finna play you 10 minutes because I know
What I
Buddy
want to
ain't
see
finna
from the
give us no
Pistons this
quality
offseason
minutes.
is
Now, we
I
might
want to
need
see them
defense,
attack
but I'm
some.
willing to compromise
I want to see
certain
them go and do
aspects of the
some homework,
defense if
right?
we can
Really go
continue
and
to
do some
score
homework and really
and score
identify
in
the
a
guys
fluid
that's in the
way,
free agent
not trying to
class
force a
who can
bucket,
help them take the
but
next
score in
level
a fluid
to
way.
get them
Like
to where they
let
want to
it be
go.
fluid.
Really go
And
get the
Stu don't
positions
allow
of
for the
needs,
offense to be
the
fluid.
guys in the
When we score,
draft.
when Stu
Go
on the
get
court,
positions of needs.
it's
Like go
because
get
we
guys that
found
you
a
feel like really
hole.
can
It ain't
impact
because of
the
fluidity. It's because
trajectory of
we
winning
found a
going forward.
hole in defense.
I want to see
That's why.
them continue
We
to
don't be
put
scoring because it's
guys that
fluid, because we
complement
coming
Cade
down the
and
court. It ain't
Jaden
fun. It ain't fun
on the
watching
court.
basketball with him on the court. That's why
And
I
I
just
think
let
those
him
guys are
be come
forwards,
off the bench
wings,
and do
threes,
your
and
thing off
fours.
the bench. And
I wouldn't
hopefully
mind
that
seeing them
bench will
sign a
be full
backup
of
center
quality
like
players. Like
Jalen
right now,
Smith,
while we
Mo
got Monte
Bamba,
Morris back,
something
Stu
to
go to
that
the bench.
degree.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Um,
let the
I
let
wouldn't mind seeing Stewart play a lot of
Gallinari
backup
start,
center next
let
year.
Muscala start. You know what I'm saying? Bogey, Muscala, Gallinari,
Uh,
they should be
it's a
rotatable
lot of
players
guys on my
between the
list as
three,
far
four,
as
and
free
five.
agent
You know
targets.
what I'm saying? Not saying I want
I really want
obviously
to see
Bogey to be a
them
five. I'm just saying he
replace
could rotate between the
Bogey
three
and
and the four.
replace Burks.
Delano can rotate between three, four, and five, and
Like
Muscala can
replace
rotate
those guys.
between, you know what I'm
Figure out
saying,
who's
the
gonna be
four
the
and five
guys
a
that's
little
gonna be
bit.
in those
And
roles
that's
for
how
y'all
I would
moving
like that
forward.
to be.
One, I feel like Cade and Ivy should take more of the
But as far
scoring
as him
load, so
starting
you don't
off,
need
I
those
don't want
guys to
bro
come in and be
to
20
ruin the
point
offense no
scorers.
more, man.
You need those guys to come in and be 12 to
Because that's what's
15
been happening
point
these last few
scorers and
years.
play some solid defense. Like I rather trade in the impact of guys being able to get you 20 off the bench or get you 30 and then start a lineup for a guy that can get me 20 every now and then and a
You
guy
heard
that
me?
can get me 15 every now and then in exchange for better defense. That's just what I like to see.
Yo,
Um, some guys who I got as some free agency targets on my list: Lonnie Walker, Grayson Allen. It's not gonna be a lot of forwards out there,
what shit broke
so
up?
it's not gonna be a lot of forwards. You probably got to get those guys in trades. I can tell you who I got on my list for trade target. Torian Prince might be a good option. Um, some shooters: Malik Beasley, KCP. Those guys, Gary Trent Jr. might be a good option as a guy to come off the bench. Simone Fontecchio, guy from Utah. I like him. Want to see him. I really want to see us throw some money at him. Matt Ryan, another guy I want to see us put some money on. Um, Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin is a forward that I could see us working with. KJ Martin will be a free agent. That's another forward that I like to see us probably do some work with. Maybe get Kevin Love. You know, Danilo gonna be out there still. We can check out Gallo, see what he doing. Daniel Theis, Giannis Valanciunas. It's gonna be some guys out there. Jonas. So I just want to see us make some of those moves and try to improve the roster. We're gonna have quite a bunch in cap space, like 50, 60 million projected. Yeah, so those are some of the things I want to see done. I wouldn't mind seeing Monte Morris come back. But I do want to see it start focusing on the future, meaning that Sasser, Jaden Ivey, Cade, Asar, and Dern specifically, some would include Stewart, but I'm not like big on Stewart as being part of the future myself. But I can see why the Pistons are. I want to see us start to focus on developing that out more. So as we talked about with my guy, man, next year I want to see them make the play in. And then the following year, I want to see them make a big leap from play-in team to a top 5 Eastern Conference team. So that's the trajectory that I see the Pistons on. It's your man's Fresh, man. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of D Sports Gurus. We was talking Pistons basketball. I should have another episode coming up with my man Justice. We're gonna be talking some football to wrap up the NFL season. Like, subscribe, comment, share the show. Tell us what you think. Always enjoy the show on whatever platform you're listening to. It's your man's, the one and only Fresh. I'm out until next time.